90% of coaches get scammed. They wire thousands to mentors who never actually built a real business, and they only find out when it's too late. I've been that guy too. I wired over $500,000 to mentors, most of them useless, but there was a few that actually worked. And they showed me the difference between mentors who make you broke and mentors who make you successful and make you millions. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to spot the frauds, find the real ones, and scale without wasting a penny. I'm Charlie Johnson, founder of 7-Figure Scaling Systems. I help fitness coaches scale from 10K to 100K plus months with systems that remove the golden handcuffs of delivery. I've coached over 1,200 trainers, built 2 7-figure companies in under 12 months. And right now I'm using AI and ads to help coaches book more calls, close more deals, and finally get their time back. Now, the first thing you have to look at is most mentors never actually built what they sell. When I was 25, I saw business mentors selling fitness coaching advice, even though they'd never actually coached a single client. Same thing you see today, 6-figure coaches who can't even fill their own diary. And this is where you have to look at things from a very base principle. If you're a fitness coach, you should be in good shape and should have evidence for that. You being able to do the thing you teach other people to do is paramount. So the person you work with, have they sold over $1 million in fitness if they're looking to build your business? If they haven't, there's no way you should have even been looking to go work with them. And I kind of had a joke before we even filmed this, like the amount of business mentors who've started following me who have, I can tell, just new and fresh out the gate, and this is not having a shot at anyone, but the reality is if you knew what you were doing, you would have already done it yourself. And that's the reality, is you actually want to go to someone who's done the thing you want to do, and they've done it with other people. And at that point, the only reason the thing wouldn't work is because you won't do the work and you can't execute on it properly. So the big teaching lesson I want you to have from this is actually think, have they run a profitable business like yours? If the answer is no, their advice is theory, and they've never actually done it in practice. Look at all the awards behind me. We've worked with over 17,000 customers in our fitness business. If you want to scale a fitness business, I know specifically how to do this because I've done it over and over and over again in my own business. Plus, we've worked with over 1,200 trainers now in scaling their business. And in the last 12 months, we've helped 20 coaches break their first $100,000 month. Second thing you have to look at is being charismatic is not competence. Just being funny and good on camera is not going to help you. And I'll give you a good example. Last night, I walked down my street in the Palm and I saw this, and this is the epitome of what is wrong with the business guru, the whiz mentality. And that essentially is, there was about 10 guys who'd rented a villa on the Palm, and they also had rented supercars, and they were driving up to the house, and they were all taking turns to film each other driving up to the house for social media. And I just thought that's incredibly amusing for the current state of play, because the problem is a lot of people will buy into people because they can rent supercars and they can rent all this type of stuff. And I also know guys in Dubai who have scammed actually a friend of mine, and the guy flashes he has a Ferrari and a Lamborghini and he lives in this big house, but he lives in this big house with 5 other guys and they share the cars between 2 of them. Between all 5 of them. And this is the reality, is that you don't want to actually be working with people who are renting their life for Instagram. You want to actually work with people who've done the thing they want to do and actually have proof of concept of that. And that's why we document everything that I do all the time. The reason I live on the Palm is not because I want to show it off on Instagram. Yes, it looks kind of cool, but it's because I'm going to be having a child in a few weeks' time. And I was actually very happy where I was previously, to be transparent. And the reason I bought a supercar is to be transparent. My father, when I was younger, had a supercar, had a Ferrari, and that's always been a childhood dream of mine, to be able to buy my own. That was actually an internal validation thing rather than external, which is a big thing you need to look at. And ultimately, when you're looking to work with someone, the biggest thing you have to understand is you have to have the right belief systems and the same values as them, because that's essentially what you're buying into. So the teaching of this is stop buying the wrapper, look at proof of client results. Have they actually done the thing? And is the product actually proven to work? Do they have video testimonials? Do they have endless client results? Do they consistently practice what they preach? If they do, then it's probably a good fit. Lesson number 3 is theory doesn't scale business, execution does. At 18, I sat in a classroom being taught business by someone who never actually built a business. That same scam plays out today. Coaches handing out PDFs and pre-recorded videos, zero feedback, no accountability, and no actual way to kind of fix the problems. And what you need to understand from this is if the model is watch some videos, good luck. It's not mentorship. Real mentorship and real coaching means feedback loops, one-to-one support, one-to-one coaching, one-to-one calls, and actually doing a deep dive in a business. And that's the big thing we do in 7-Figure Scaling Systems, is we look specifically under the hood of a business. We operate under what's called the theory of constraint. So what is the big problem you have in the business? Is it traffic? Is it leads? Is it sales? Is it churn? And then we go fix that problem. And then what happens is your business will grow. Why? Because you've removed the bottleneck. But most people are fixing the right problem at the wrong time, which is why their business doesn't scale, which is why they get stuck. Number 4 is a lack of structure kills momentum. So when I used to be involved in bodybuilding and fitness, diet, training, deadlines, that's everything. And when you correlate that over to business, it then becomes very easy. But then I look at a lot of business mentors, entrepreneurs, they can't even keep promises to themselves in their own business. And that's often why they fail, because they clearly aren't structured, they clearly aren't organized, and they clearly don't have a good routine. And guess what? You're going to be picking up these bad habits. Same thing in terms of I've seen people who do business coaching talk about how they're stressed and anxious online, or how they can't actually build a team. And the people who are selling you advice on why you need to have a one-man business are essentially because they don't have the skill set to build a team. The reality is if you have a one-man business, do you know what happens? Every problem lands on you, which is ultimately a big mistake. Now, the lesson from this is the right mentor hands you a step-by-step playbook. And if they don't have structure, you end up wasting months and years. So you need to have absolute clarity in terms of exactly what you're doing, why, and how. Now, the 5th thing we have to look at is the right mentor pays for themselves. And that's actually what we do. We call it a self-liquidating offer because it's literally impossible. In 2020, I lost $250,000 when a payment processor froze my funds and shut me down. That was a huge amount of ignorance tax I had to pay, and it really hurt. But the frameworks from that helped me turn and actually build 2 7-figure businesses. And this is where mentors either cost you or they make you rich. There's no in between. And the reality is back then, the people I was working with from 2018 to 2020 didn't give me any advice on how to actually do the practicalities of running a business. It was just generic BS that they were just copying from other people and trying to, again, teach something they'd never essentially done. So the most important thing is you need to look for a return on investment in the first 90 days. If you're not making your money back fast, you're paying for entertainment and you're paying for a coaching friend, not a mentorship. And that's exactly why the way we work in 7-figure scaling systems is we have a very clear method. We use an accelerator model. We actually don't do it for 90 days, we actually do it for 4 months, so it's slightly longer. The reason we do a set time period where we work with people and we come in and we build systems and structure is for this. We give you a set time frame so you actually execute and you get these things done fast. This is the exact framework we use with clients like Bernard, who you see on screen right now. He went from $39,000 to $120,000 in just 4 weeks. Why? Because we mapped out from step by step by step and removed the 1, 2, 3 bottlenecks of exactly what he had to have. Now, mentors, in my opinion, if you get the right person, is the ultimate shortcut and hack for you in life. And why do I say this? This is not for me just to promote my own program, but I would not be sitting here having the things I have and having the lifestyle I have if it wasn't for that. Because if you find the right person, they can condense and collapse a time frame down for you. And the biggest thing you can actually waste is not money, it's time. Because they print money, time you can never get back. And the compounding effect of things you know and the skills you have and the network you have will pay for everything tenfold. So the most important thing you actually need to do is invest in yourself and not be afraid of doing that. And also, if you've been burned by a mentor previously, do you know what the worst thing you can do? Is let that person burn you twice by not making the right decision a second time. And that essentially is where I'd like to invite, if you want help in terms of scaling a business. I built 2 7-figure businesses. We've scaled to over nearly $20 million in revenue. We've helped over 1,200 trainers scale their business. We've worked with 17,000 customers in the fitness business. We've helped 20 coaches break 100K a month in the last 12 months. If you would like to be our next success story and actually work with someone who's done the thing that you want to do, then hit the link below this video. You can book on a free call with us and find out exactly how we do that. And also, if you want to get some more value, check out the next video on screen, which will have some tons of insights that YouTube will recommend to you to help you scale your business.